Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. A breath filled my wings spread, levitate above the ground. Make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free.
How we sounding, gang? How it's going? Hope it's clear.
Always daydreaming, never
Peace, Chief.
I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so
Yes, that's what I like, brother. You already know.
above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. Higher to a bird. You, I'm rising. I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free.
One more, we're going to get started. Let's see if we get a few more people in here. I'm going to go over some information in the book, reading some names in some of the indigenous languages during a little while back. And what they observed. Tried to knock me out of there. What happened? It's perfect though. Peace, everybody.
Start to share.
Thank you, Sophia. Welcome, sis. Thanks for coming through, baby.
Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Safe for me to be grounded in the present. The balance between problem solving
In the universe working itself out, and it always will.
That I have is only direction to doubt, no doubt. Emotion valid, but the goal is not to be triggered every time. mind. It's just life. It's okay for my sanity. I choose peace and I'll forever and always be present. I am enough as I am. I
Talk
am
about that gold. Don't let me go there. Gold's at a low right now, guys. Gold and silver.
Dark. God, you
just got here.
honor me.
Shout out to the mothers. Shout out to the mothers. Okay, guys, let's get into it. I'm gonna start with some of the book, and I want you guys to see this video. The Four Horsemen is awesome. Let's hope it gets to play. The internet's been like great, like literally until just a moment ago. So let's try and see what's going on. I'm gonna read this. Lord Kane admitted to say something about this subject judiciously as those who maintain that America was peopled from Kamskatka, whether the inhabitants of American shores, that they do not, he observes, is fully confirmed by recent accounts from this, and we may conclude with great certainty that they are not a colony of the former. We have confirmation upon confirmation that these nations speak languages entirely different, and for the satisfaction of the curious, we will give the short vocabulary words in each, which the English against them, with the English against them. So basically, for the word God in Kamskadale, and this is in Aliatun, and this is Kamskato, and this is English, obviously. So I'll say the English word, say this one, and then this one, right? God, they said in Kamskadale, it is Neon Skitch, in Aliadin Akagash, father Ishk, in Aligan Athan, mother Nashk, in Aliatin Anan, son Pa'a, in El Lan, daughter Suman, and Ashken, brother Skitsk, and Koyata. I'm going to get into some of these sounds and these words, guys. You know, some of these people that were some of the first, what we would call white Indians, were from the Welsh. They came from Welsh, and they were here way before Columbus, not like way before, but before him. And the Spaniards, they were the ones that were mixing with the Spanish, the Welsh, the Spanish, were like, what do you call them? They were like the Vikings, and you know, a few other races. They were all Teutons, as you know, but they give them all these different names so you'll know what area they were coming from in that time, right? All right, let's finish this out. It's not that much. Sister Kaschu in Angan, woman Skoak in Iyaka, girl Kutachu. I know I'm not saying that right. Oga Gilkin, young boy Pahach, Akash, child Pikachu, and Alik, a man, Ashkams, and Takai, the people, Koashkal, and this one does not have a translation, persons, Ashkamis, and this one doesn't have a translation, the head, Tikasha, Kamku, the face, Kog, Simimong, the nose, Kankak, and Ashashin, the nostrils, Kangra, and Gokik, the eye, Nanit, and Thap. It says, after learning that there are several cogent arguments to evidence the true Americans. To evidence that the Americans are not descended from any people in the north of Asia or in the north of Europe, nor Keynes continues. I venture still further, which is a conjecture that America has not been peopled from any part of the world, what they consider the old world, obviously, is because over here, which was actually the true old world, everything's backwards in these people's head because they are backwards, ass backwards. But when it comes to it, what they considered the new world was here, which was actually the old world, and they were in the new world. So, when you hear that, obviously we have it backwards. But although this last conjecture is in unison with those of many others, yet his lordship is greatly out of some of its proofs, which he announces in its support. As we have not have no ground on which to controvert this opinion, we may be excused for examining its proof. But this we will observe that Lord Keynes is in the same era about the beardlessness of the Americans as some other learned Europeans. So it says the beardlessness. Now I don't know if they're talking about these white Indians that were from the Welsh and that had mixed with some of the natives. So, over time, they've been there a couple of 100 years. These are obviously mulattoes, and these may very well be the so-called Mexicans, the ones that were mixed with some of the natives of the natives that came to America and that were born into some of the copper skin tribes, mixing, mingling, so on and so forth. This was before Columbus time, so this is where we get like these Mexican tribes, I believe, or that era, as some others learned in Europe. The learned Dr. Swinton, in a dissertation about the peopling of America, after stating the different opinions of various authors who have advocated in favor of the dispersed people, the Phoenicians and other Eastern nations, observed that therefore the Americans in general were descended from some people who inhabited a country not far distant from them as Egypt and Phoenicia, which we know Egypt obviously is in America. So when they say not so distant from Egypt, they're talking about the America, right? Which is crazy, but we might not get into that because you guys know that, right? Okay. And because we can readily admit now you can be pitched upon and convenient for this purpose as the northeastern part of Asia, particularly Great Tartary, Siberia, and more especially the peninsula of Kamchatka. Okay, that part the track any Tartarian colonies passed into America, the track that they passed in. Okay, coming over in the area for like the White Sea and the Black Sea, and peopled the most considerable part of the New World, which was actually, of course, the Old World. This it is not to be inhabitants into America if it must be allowed that it was peopled from the Old World, but it is not quite so easy to account for the existence of equatorial animals in America. Equatorial animals in America, when all that they never could have passed that way. So obviously the animals wouldn't have passed that way. They were already there. They passed that way. That means they came from somewhere else. But if they were animals of America, obviously, they came from that way. All right. Let me check with the chat. A few people did come in. Peace, C. Roberts. Thanks for coming through. DJ, peace and love. I am Shiva Lolo Indigenous. Appreciate you. Food Chill. Appreciate you. I'm on my magazine. Peace and love, sis. Thanks for coming through. I appreciate your presence there. Who else is in here? Sir Drop. Peace, brother. Peace. What's good? All right, now I can give you your mod back. Drop. You ain't been in here in a minute, brother. I got you today. All right, guys, let's get back to it. Survive the coldness of the climate at any season of the year. Moreover, the vocabulary proved that either the inhabitant did not come in from the northwest, or that if they did, some unknown cause ages, suspending all communication between the immigrants and the ancestors upon the neighboring shores of Asia. In 1822, there appeared in London a work which attracted some attention, as most were upon similar subjects. It was entitled Description of the Ruins of an Ancient City, discovered near Guatemala, in Spanish America. In Spanish America. Here we go. then we tell you guys that Spain, they keep trying to say, oh yeah, the Spanish were here, the Spain, they broke up your continent, created these, so they proposed, this is, we're and books and stories and the actors and things. They can build a plot and a plan, just like acts and statutes and certain mindsets being actual and factual when it's actions, when it comes to some of these things, right? So we have to keep that in mind. So as it says here, in Spanish America, you guys remember the other week we were reading and it showed you that there was a Russia America, right? Russia America, when everything was connected at one time, not totally like bound together, but at this time they had tracts of land that were still above water and they were able to travel. People were traveling all over like for eons. Like it's nothing new. We were travelers. This is everything is to put a stop to you guys traveling. Believe it or not, putting a limitation on you. I was just over on not a coincidences panel for about 10 minutes. I had to get away from the nonsense, because he just popped up on my thing, and they were talking about the was it Virginia? The Virginia slave codes or something, right? And I'm explaining to them that is everything that's a code or act is not necessarily a law. Not saying it didn't happen, not saying they didn't put it into place, but you can't just say just because I read this and that. One thing is not gonna prove that it was something that was factual. But yes, it was something that was factual. I didn't even get into the argument because they kept wanting to validate proofs and facts of what they're saying versus listen to what I'm saying, which was factual information. You can't validate that. You weren't there. You didn't see them write it. I mean, you can kind of compare some information and say, hey, this, and this gives me this conclusion, but you can't validate it. Now, I do believe it happened. That wasn't even an argument. They didn't let me conclude. Because you can't bring common sense sometimes to people when they think they know what they're talking about. They wanted me to answer the way they wanted me to answer. I'm trying to give you some insight, not trying to give you a direct answer, because it's not always a direct answer that's going to give you the truth or the light or the way. You feel me? So when it comes to these things, we have to keep in mind that even during that time, just since I just brought it up, they were talking about this Virginia slave trade thing or whatever, a slave act or something of the sort. But all of that was to put a stop to people traveling. When they put these, oh, they're enslaved. This one's a slave here, and oh, this one can't marry this race because of this, and it enslaves their child because of that. When they did those things, it was really just to put. When they put these labels or titles on people, it was so that they could restrict the people, make people stop being able to trade on their own. People were traveling. Like I said, they had no problem traveling. We traveled all over the place. People were going places and trade. They might say, hey, I think I'm going to go over to Africa. Let me take this long little journey, but I got these particular goods. I'm going to go over there. Me and my family might even go for a couple of months. We'll go over there and we'll go trade our goods, what we farmed here, and we'll go over there and we'll trade with them some things and make us a little money or whatever. They were doing that like families. 2 or 3, 4 people might travel. They were safe doing what they needed to do. They had their protection. They gonna handle their business. Do what they needed to do. Like it was not even hard. Um, it's just crazy. I don't know. I just want to say that, but let me get back to this. Yeah, it's just crazy. The restrictions on people. They put these things into place just to allow restrictions, and people fall for it. The people protested, but they didn't protest enough and let them know, like, what are y'all talking about? Shit, we've been traveling for ages. In eons, our ancestors have traveled all over this whole entire continent. What are y'all talking about? We're gonna go as we please. See, they fell for it, and that's what happened. We get restrictions put on us, and then there's the ball and chain. Just like a elephant. If you see an elephant, they might have like a stick or something, and it's down in the dirt, right? That elephant can easily pull that stick out, but they've been trained since a child that they cannot move that stick, so they don't even try. They just like Oh man, let me get on. Okay, the translated from the original um, the report of Captain Don M. Antonio Del Rio, followed by a critical investigation research into the history of the Americans by Dr. Paul Felix Cabrera of the city of New Guatemala. Okay, now this is a doctor of New Guatemala, and these people were saying, "Hey, these people been here, like, Captain Del Rio, one of the brothers, what was it? I think the research guy. He was, or one of the brothers did a build yesterday, and he was talking about the Spanish, and they were Negroes. It may have been A1's build. He did a couple of fire builds yesterday. The Spanish being Negroes, this and that. It's true because they were right here as well. It was Spanish America, as we just said, Spanish America. So these Spaniards that were in America, were indigenous to this area as well. So we have to keep that in mind. This is why when you look at a lot of our old documents and things, you guys have seen me read things, different books and old documents, and it has so much Latin. Look at a lot of the American globe maps and, certain things or whatever. Same thing. There's so much Latin in it because we have, man, I don't want to get into that subject right now because that becomes a whole issue for people with certain things, but keeping that in mind. Let's start here. Captain Del Rio was ordered by the Spanish in the year of 1786 to make an examination of whatever ruins he might find, which he accordingly did. From the manuscript he left, which afterwards fell into the hands of Dr. Cabrera. His work was composed, and is that part of the work which concerns us is our view of systems or conjectures concerning the peopling of America. The peopling of America. We shall be short with this author, as his system differs very little from some which we have already sketched. He is very confident that he has settled the question how South America received its inhabitants, namely from the Phoenicians who sailed across the Atlantic Ocean, which we know is nonsense. You guys know it's always meat and bones. They're talking about different stories, just to follow a couple of different authors, the things that they read, and their opinions. Opinions don't always matter, what they thought, so on and so forth. So these are some of the stories they're just mentioning as well. It says Dr. Cabrera calls any which, in his view, does not harm the scriptures. See, he harmonizes with the scriptures, so he's indoctrinated. So any theory from indoctrination, this is another thing. When people hear these things of what a person's reading, or a story or article or something that they heard or whatever the case may be, a lot of times this is from perception. Everyone's perception is not always factual and true. You have to look at the majority and what rules to be able to show what is factual. You have to look at different documents, do the research on what kind of coincides and gives you a better view of what it is that you're looking for. So, an invitation upon the Holy Catholic religion, which we know all goes back to Islam, Christianity, all religions are the same. They come from one father, the Islamic nature, right? And rather than resort to any such, he says it is better to believe his God's work miraculously than endeavor to make an ostentatious belief of our talents by the cunning invention of new systems. This that had been here already before, right? Just like they recirculate everything. I'm going to go down, guys. Hold on a second. I want to get to something else. Commissioner, let's get into this. Recklessness. In Connecticut River, about 200 miles from Long Island Sound, in is narrow of 500 yards, formed by two shelving mountains, solid rock. Through these chasms are floods buried country. In the time of the floods, buried the northern country. It is a frightful passage of about 400 yards in length. No boat, or as my art expresses, no creature was ever known to pass through this narrow except an Indian woman. No creature was able to pass through the narrow way, basically, except Indian woman. This woman had undertaken to cross the river just above, and although she had the god Bacchus on her side, the god Bacchus, the Indian gods, they said, and yet Neptune prevailed in spite of their united efforts, and the canoe was hurled down the frightened gulf. The Gulf. This Indian woman was thus hurrying to certain destruction, as she had every reason to expect. She seized upon her bottle of rum and did not take it from her mouth until the last drop was gulped. She was marvelously um, preserved and was actually picked up several miles below, floating in the canoe still while when it came. I was about to talk about the drinking and alcohol, but I'm not. When it was known what she had done and being asked how she dared to drink so much rum with the prospect of, she answered that she knew it was too much for one time, but she was unwilling that any of it should be lost. That sounds like the Niagara Falls. Like she went over the Niagara Falls to me. I swear it does, but we're gonna keep it moving. Um, let's see. Justice. A missionary residing among a certain tribe of the Indians was one day, after had been preaching to them, invited by their chief to visit. Having been kind, she had two little children. One she loved well, the other she hated. Ooh, that's not nice. Hold on. In a cold night, when I was out hunting in the woods, she shut it out of the wigwam and it froze to death. She froze the child to death in the wigwam. So this sounds like one of the those Welsh Indians. Not to be prejudiced, but I really feel like I can see nobody just doing that unless they heartless. What must be done with her? So the missionary replied, she must be hanged. So they said she done froze her child to death. We're gonna hang her. Ah, said the chief, go then and hang you God, whom you make just like her. Okay. Now that sounds crazy. The Hundred Wonders of the Game. I wanted to read. Dang, where is the part? This may not even be the book, guys. I thought I was gonna read. Hold on a second. Is this the one talking about? Yeah, I think it is. Hold on, let's go down for a second. This is preaching against practice. Okay. Okay, maybe up here. Honey, the Indians and methods to catch game. Okay. All right, we're gonna read here. There was another book I had. The one I was actually gonna read, guys, really, literally, is just freaking gone. Like it. I was reading it to my sis the other morning. She was going into the gym. I'm reading it to her. I'm reading to. It was crazy talking about these white Indians. This is how I found out about these Welsh Indians. This is new information to me about the Welsh Indians, the white Indians. They call them the white Indians. Columbus and those before Columbus actually spoke of them, talking about them with the red hair. This is where some people have the reddish hair, so on and so forth. And they said they were the Welsh. The Russians have the red hair, so more than likely they came from that Russian American area, because that was a part that was connected. It was actually connected to right. Okay, hold on. Preaching into practice. John Simon was a Saxonite who, about the year 1700, was a settled minister to the tribe. A minister to the tribe. He was indoctrinated. He Christianized, right? Christendom. He was a man of strong mind, generally temperate, but sometimes is told as characteristic of his notions of justice. Simon, on account of his deportment, was created justice of the peace, and when difficulties occurred involving y'all, my reading is so off. Involving any of his people, he sat with the English justice to aid in making up judgment. So he was part of the governance, and this was in 1700. This is before the so-called George Washington, right? So here's proof of governance, right? Here it's telling you right here with his judgment. He said he was a chief justice of the peace. Yeah, it happened at Simon Squad with some others. Justice Almy and Simon, in making up their minds, estimated the amount of the offense differently. Almy received 8 or 10 stripes, and no poor Indians are ignored, and it is not Christian-like to punish so hardly those who are ignored. I'm sorry, is our ignorant, is what they said. And it is not Christian like to punish so hardly those that are ignorant as those who have knowledge. Simon judgment was prevailed. Now, mind you, they're talking about the poorest white Indians, because when speaking about the white pale Indians, it spoke on how the copper Indians came and they would come. They were on the river. They were the red Indians. They called them the reddish Indians, right? They were on the river, and they would go there and fight them, and they would enslave them. It said that the copper Indians actually had guns at the time, and these Indians had the bows and arrows. This is where the bows and arrows came from. The Welsh Indians, the white Indians, and right here it sounds like they're talking about the same one. They were under the Christianhood because they were the ones that one of the ones of areas of tribes that converted to the Christianity, and going into everything, so on and so forth, right? Hold on a second. I'm going to read something else. I'm going to read. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to go to this. I really get on here, guys, to play this video. Y'all got to see this video, but I'm going to read something else important real quick as well, and then we're going to get into this video because it's deep. All right, hold on a second. Yeah, this is the statehood. We're going to read about the statehood real quick. Everybody keep talking about these 5 types and what they did and what they didn't do, but we're going to read right here what it says they did. This is when the Indians asked for statehood. Okay? The Indians asked for statehood. They wanted the statehood. They were the ones that were, trying to get riches and trade on everybody else because they wanted to go in. So, these are these white tribes. You see, they're on these reservations. They were the white Indians, the mixed bloods, the Melungeons. We call them mulattoes, but they were Melungeons, like Abraham Lincoln and a few others, right? Okay. It says the 5 nations agreed to throw open their territory. They agreed to throw it open. To throw it open? What? They want to throw it open. Let's read this. They agreed to throw open their territory. Chiefs and wise men in council will not accept territorial government on union with Oklahoma. Each Indian wants $500 and a farm. They want $500 in a farm. You hear this? The Carlisle educational system is to be maintained. I'm going to do an entire build on this, guys, because I'm going to read to you guys about this educational system, some things that were set up. There's like, oh my gosh, y'all know I keep trying to tell y'all how they set up these systems because it's all about binding you to a certain area, not letting you travel, not allowing you to trade, not letting you be a free man and woman as you are on the land, so on and so forth. But yeah. Perry OT, November, all Indian Territory comprising some of the. This is actually a newspaper article, guys. Too, just so you know, I'll go back to it in a minute. I zoomed in on it, so I can show you the exact date. I don't recall what it was. All of the Indian Territory compromising some of the choicest land in the United States will probably be open to the white settlers as a result of the big convention of Indians. As a result, what was the result of it being open to the white settlers? The result of a big convention of Indians, right? They had this huge convention. They had all these settlers coming in, right? So it's letting you know what started it, the big convention. They had a big convention showing off, trading, whatever they were doing. And these white settlers, they came to make these agreements with them, right? As a result of the big convention of the Indians that has just come to an end, tribe sent their best and most noted men as delegates. So they said, hey, we're going to work something out with these people. We're going to see about getting some certain funds and allowing them to come into the land. We'll just sell off the land. Like, who gave them the right to sell off the land? Was it their land to sell off? Wasn't even their land to sell off. Belongs to the ancestors before them and the heirs that fell behind them and shit. Even these ones that came, it seemed like from everything I've been reading, these 5 tribes, they weren't even original to the land. Most of these tribes were, as we know, they all held more names, right? We've gone over this before. The El, the Bay, they each had a particular Cherokee. What was the other one? I can't remember. I don't want to say the wrong name. But the different 5 tribes that are associated with those particular Actually, let me go to that. Let's pull that up real quick because I don't want to speak on it and then somebody says, "Oh, she said this and that." Just because I can't remember stuff, I did have a horrible head injury, guys. So I don't remember everything. I remember very pertinent things easily, but let's see what this says. Hold on a second. I'm about to look it up real quick. I have it in my email. I've sent it out, so I can definitely find it real quick. Let's see. Where is it? Where is it? All right. That's not it. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, here it goes. See, it wasn't gonna be hard for me to find it. Let's get that. It actually says that I'm gonna put it in the chat for you guys. It says the meaning of Aboriginal Indigenous Moorish noble titles. It says Ali. It stands for being ethereal. Chickasaw, the bringer of law, most noble and exalted. Usually, this title is given for an act of courage or accomplishment. So, certain people within the tribe, if they did certain things, they had a certain accomplishment, a goal, or something. Some of these people, these were the original Moors. You hear people talking about the Moors or this and the Moors and the indigenous, and then they say, no, they weren't the Moors. They were from another land, this, and that. It's just so crazy because there were Moors, but they were part of certain tribes. They had titles. They were actually workers for the land, tillers for the land, travelers, seafarers, builders. They had certain positions that they held. You know what I'm saying? It was certain, I'm going to put them in there. So, and as it says, L is Northgate. They were Cherokee God. They were the force, the power. Hebrew. They were from Hebrew tribes. Also means Ra of the cosmos, giver of the Elohim, usually for women or men coming back into the knowledge that represent the familiar principle, right? So when you're thinking about that, these are certain titles that they have for positions in the tribe that they held. And these names that they derive from, they tell you like a bay or as they have certain titles because of what they were doing. So Bay is Elohim. They were Choctaws. Bays are Choctaws. They were governors of the land in Moorish civilization. Obey and enforce the laws of the prophets means teacher. They were teachers and foot soldiers for the South Gate, protectors of the South Gate of the land. These are titles, guys. They are titles. All titles. And then they misconstrued it and, taking it for something else. They were Seminoles. So the Seminoles were degrees of the eternal zodiac for the Mexican and the Cuban. They were the Mexican and the Cuban Moors in South America. They were actually the ones that came from the descendancy of Welsh tribes, the Welsh white Indians, right? The ones that were all a part of the nations that decided that they, wanted a little more than living by the river and, staying in teepees, and they wanted land. They wanted certain things, but see, they weren't allowed to come on the land because the people were keeping the land that had been there prior to them. So when these Moors, yes, I do have a cash app, Reginald. Let me put it in the thing. Hold on a second. There you go, brother. Appreciate you asking. Anybody else, please feel free to drop something for your girl if you like. These tribes, right? Let's get the next one. I want you guys to have all these in the chat. So the law, the all is Muskogee of the law of descendant of governors. They were descendants, so they came down. They had certain. I guess you would have like their. Let's say their grandfather was a governor in the tribe, so on and so forth. So they may have been a great grandchild. So these were certain ones they had entitlement because they had governors that had participated on the land, so on and so forth. Do you get it? You get it, guys? Okay, so we got it. So we got that part of this. So let's move on, right? Because I don't want to argue the point about these 5 tribes, right? So the 5 civilized tribes sent their best and most noted men as delegates. Their final decision was a great victory for the Dawes Commission that had been working to effect a reconciliation. so that the rich lands might be open as were those of Oklahoma District. The five civilized tribes are the Chickasaws. Listen to this. I heard someone the other day, they were reading, they said, oh, the Seminoles, oh, they weren't part of it. Hold on, let's back it up. Let's see who it was, because it was right here in the paper when it happened. They broadcast it and let it be known, right? It says that the five civilized tribes are the, I'm sorry, that was coming up. The five civilized tribes are the Chickasaws, the Choctaws, the Creeks, the Cherokees, and the Seminoles. Well, damn, what did I just read? The Seminoles, the Choctaw, the Cherokee. What did I just put in the chat for you guys to make you have a clear freaking understanding of who these five tribes were? They are of the Moorish descent that has certain titles going under these particular nations. Do y'all get it? The proof's in the pudding. I'm showing you right here. I ain't making this shit up. Now check it out. Let's keep it moving. The five civilized tribes, as again, are the Chickasaw, the Choctaw, the Creeks, the Cherokees, and the Seminoles. Mind you, that's not very large a number, because we read in the book. We can probably go back to the book real quick and go over a few of those tribes that had like 30,000, 40, 50,000 in one particular tribe. When we talking about thousands of tribes under how many nations, right? Lord, come on now. There wasn't that many of them, right? So with it being so few of these Melungeons, mulattoes, Chickasaw, Choctaws, whatever, all these different tribes, right? When they needed help. This is where they were, going with the other people from the other countries, the French, and they these Europeans, and making deals, because they like, we're gonna overthrow these people for once and for all. We tired of them enslaving us, because they were being enslaved. The white Indians were being enslaved. Literally, I just was telling you how they were enslaving them, and they were tired of it, and they wanted some revenge, is what it sounded like to me. So they decided that we're going to go with these other people, bring them in to help us, because they're more our color, and yeah, from there. Okay, that's all. They own the entire soil of Indian Territory. They own the entire soil of Indian Territory. It includes 19 million 575,000 acres. 19,575,000 acres. This is just between this small amount of tribes. Now, keeping in mind, 6,500 Indians on a 19.5 million acres of land. 65, the five tribes. Five tribes, right? 65,000 Indians on 9.5. Oh, that's sorry. 9.5 million acres of land. Oh, for some reason, I think I'm misspelling acres. For some reason, it's not coming right in my head. But either way, y'all get it. Y'all know what I'm talking about, because y'all hear me. So check this out. So the five tribes, right? It was 65,000 Indians on 9.5 million acres of land. Now, you guys remember when reading the book on Nebraska, it told us about 250 million acres of land that they came into in Nebraska, right? And they was auctioning it off. They made all those BLM offices, and like, shoot, we got all this land. We got to make some offices to control all this, right? That's what they started doing. It's crazy, right? Completely absurd. So check this out. Let's finish reading, because once I want you guys to remember that. I put that in the chat, because we're going to go back to the book just to show some of the amounts of people that were in these lands are all over the place. Like, literally. Like I just told you, even the Indians in Nebraska, shit, they had 250 million acres right alone. Okay? Let's talk about it. The convention declared itself with much emphasis regarding its preferences as to the manner to which the land should be opened, right? The delegates were willing that their fellow Indians should receive allotments, and be paid for the rest of the vast tract, right? They denounced the territorial form of government, which was meant as a strong hint that they would be satisfied with nothing less than statehood. Nothing less than statehood. Oh, so their whole plan was to have statehood, right? having governance over land. Oh, so you wonder why in the five tribes with wanting statehood, right? We see how the Moors have governance. They have a certain governance, right? They have their flag. They have their flag up in the White House when the presidents have been up. They have all this paperwork that they go on because they always say, "Hey, the paperwork, the paperwork, the paperwork." That's the paperwork that ties back to the governmental construct with the contracts that they made because they go under the statehood. So all of these five tribes and the Moors, right? They were together because they are the ones that created and formed this statehood. Okay. But they declared that they did not want statehood with Oklahoma. The administration, knowing efforts to urge that course upon them. The resolutions adopted by the convention began by stating that the time had arrived. This is so blurry, y'all. Had arrived when repeating demands made an imperative for the five civilized nations to treat with the United States Commission to treat, creating that treaty, right? The five nations pledged themselves to act in perfect harmony with each other and on a definite common line of policy. To work in harmony with each other and on a what? A definite common line of policy. This means ultimate state government. We recognize the convention's memorial continue that the proposals of the United States in disintegrating, Lord, I'm going to say disintegrating, in disintegrating the land and our people by settlement and town site division. Settlement and town site. Didn't I tell you guys that the township is responsible for your care and the bills and things of that nature? That's a whole nother story. But yeah, the township gets an allotment for the money to take care of you, right, in your area, right? Right. Okay. Mean ultimate state government, and that in dealing with the United States, we must fully and clearly recognize this of the government and conduct our negotiations as this basis so as to secure all the amount due to our nations and people with an agreement conserving our material and political rights as a condition proceeding to distinct there we go again to disintegration of lands and tribe government. If impossible to dissolve our tribal governments, if impossible to dissolve our tribal governments. Oh, did they say tribal governments? So there were definitely tribal governments on the land, right? Tribal governments. Okay. To dissolve. They had to dissolve their tribal government in order to make contract with the new constituted United States government. You can't have two governments. That's like conflict, right? A conflict of interest because there's one government, then you're fighting against the other. So now we have to dissolve our government. So these people took it upon themselves to say they dissolved the government. How can you dissolve something? You don't control the entire land. How can you contract with these people on behalf of the rest of the freaking continent that has not dissolved with them? Makes no sense. But let's keep it moving. Um, Secure with counsel, which shall protect the lives and the happiness of our people. The resolutions insist that each tribe shall be paid the money due by the United States immediately. Money, allotments, money, really. When allotment of lands is made by the Indians, they demand the patent be made to each individual Indian. Well, damn, what happened to all those patents? All the patents that went to each individual, they said it was how many? 65,000 Indians. So that's 65,000 patents that belong to who and where are they? Okay, we know they start off with a lot of pales, but hey, I'm sorry to say, a lot of you guys are probably mixed with some of those. You guys know you've said that you have some people on the Dawes roll in your family. So some of these 65,000 patents belong to y'all. Just keep that in mind. That he may hold the land as his own, not further subject to the United States except for taxes. And we know that Indians are non-tax. So that's another piece of example that we can expunge. As the government requires the Indians to do away with tribal relations, they have to do away with their tribal relations. But if you form a new government and a new nation under, the government construct, you have to follow your tribal codes and ethics and things of that nature. So this is kind of backwards, right? Okay. Which are very dear to them. The government demands that each Indian to be paid $500 as a recompense for the sacrifice. Y'all hear that? As a recompense for the sacrifice, and as an aid in starting on the new life, for in abolishing tribal relations, the Indians must give up many ancient customs. The Indians must give up many ancient customs, such as dances, which they have observed from time to time immemorial. Each Indian too would be under new expense in building fences and houses and many things with which they can now dispense. Dwelling further on reasons for the payment of this $500 to each Indian, the resolution said, $500 damn dollars for their land. Are they nuts? Did you hear this shit? Check this out. Opening the Indian domain. We are not unaware that the total amount involved would be large, but we are fully advised that the huge development under the new condition in opening our Indian domain to its full productive power will be of great advantage to the United States. What they said? In opening our Indian domain, which would be those Indian boarding schools, right, to its full productivity power will be the great advantage to the United States, and that the United States will be fully repaid. We realize the great benefits that our people derive from our educational institute. Really, we received benefits from that? Or was it, constructed criticism in the mind to have us be under their construct? And also that many of you will be reduced to this to destitution by the new conditions. Many will be reduced to destitution by the new conditions. They knew it, but they still went along with it. Being anxious to provide for the children of such citizens, we wish to set aside land out of our domain to be permanent investments for the benefit of certain educational institutions. Sufficient for the education of these children. Sufficient for the education of these children, because we must retrain them, right? We must retrain their brain, give them a new story, a new history, certain things, we have to put in their mind state. So we have to have these institutions of education, as they said, right? So we know they're talking about the poor white Welsh Indians, guys, that were the Five Nations, and the Moors that came, and they were mixed mulattoes, Melungeons, a lot of them. There were original copper Moors, yes, but a lot of them were mixing with these people, the Welsh that came in, that were living on the rivers. This is how they came in, through the water. We will maintain our tribal governments as long as possible. Before relinquishing our tribal government and before the disintegration of the land shall be made, we shall insist that all the conditions here therefore set up shall be carried out. But we can't say all those things were carried out, because some things, they don't even have the lands now. What happened to them? We will never consent to a territorial government or to a union with Oklahoma Territory. When the change of government takes place, we shall ask that the proposed agreements provide admission as a state of the union. So a state of the union, right? State of the union. This is the paperwork. With constitutional provisions protecting the property right and political privileges of our people. The Constitution to be made by our own people with absolute prohibition of the liquor traffic. I just was telling this man, and he was arguing with me, and I kept telling him that the Constitution was written by people. They wrote it, and it was enforced and then rewritten. We'll talk about that later, but they originally wrote the Constitution. Not a coincidence. This one's for you. Just, I have to leave your panel for all that nonsense. If you ever do check this video out, this is for you. Remember, I kept telling you that they wrote it. I didn't have the information on hand, but I pulled it up. But, either way. We represent 65,000 sober, industrious, and God-fearing people, owners of the entire soil of Indian Territory, by Coleman Treaty and patented titles. People who came to the wilderness, driven by force, and made it a cultivated land. People who have erected schools, churches, courts, or justices, and governments under which we have found safety and happiness. Did y'all hear that? These people did what? They had this before the treaty, before the Constitution was made. They already had this stuff. Let's read it again. Self-supporting and God-fearing people own the entire soil of Indian territory. Owners of the entire soil of Indian territory by Solomon Treaty and patented titles. They had patented titles. People who came to a wilderness that were driven by force and made it a cultivated land. People who have erected schools, churches, courts, and justice and governments under which we have found safety and happiness. They already had all of this before these people came. We rely on the justice of our cause and the guidance of divine providence, and we appeal to the moral sentiment of the great and magnanimous nation in whose hands is our ultimate destiny and whose national life and history we have earned a decent and honorable place. What do you guys think about that? Oh my gosh, the sound I got back. Maybe skipping. Dang it. Let me stop sharing for a minute and see if that helps. Peace to anybody that came in. If I have not noticed you, you guys know I have been over there reading. Let me go back and check you guys out. What's going on? Reginald, I've seen you. Peace and love, peace and bliss, brother. Kahi, Empress Awakening. Peace. New growth out the trenches. Peace, brother. Thanks for coming through. Empress Vicky P says, peace and love, says, I am Sheba. Yes, I seen you earlier, says, peace. PG, thanks for coming through. Peace and love. Obsidian Copperstone, peace, brother, brother, peace. And Right Woodsbury Stay, peace, brother, peace and love. Willie Lilly, peace, brother. What's going on, brother? Tom Jones, peace, brother. What are you guys thinking about that? Anybody have anything they'd like to add? Let me do an invite real quick if you guys want to. No, because that's going to have a problem when I play this video. I'll try afterwards. I definitely want hold on real quick. Before I do the video, I got to go back to this book just to show you guys again some of these tribes. Now, remember the amount of tribes that they were talking about. Look at the. I went through this before, but I think I was having a problem. I think if we're doing pretty good, are we still good on the sound, guys? How you guys hearing me today? I'm a little excited that we started on the software for me right now. In the chat or two going in and out. I'm going to get to some of these tracks real quick. So this is yeah. That information is in there. I wanted to keep it light because I don't want to go too deep. Okay, so as you can see, guys, let's get into this real quick. Let's gonna try again. Let's try to get yelled. Hold on. Let's give it a second. Let's take a quick little break. Quick little break. Let's see. Okay, it's good. So perfect. Okay, let's get to it. So I want you guys to see, as I said, let's see these names. Let's see numbers. That's what I like to see on here. Look at this. These are the tribes. There's so many different tribes. These are the nations. For instance, some now check this the year that they had the right. Here they have like 1100, 2500. We just gonna go through 2300 right here, 500, this 4,000 right here. Let's 800. 8,000 right here. 800, 8,000. Let's see. So 25,000 right here. right? Let me highlight saying this, and I'm not just making up. 25,000 right here. 30,000 right here. Blackfeet tribe. 30,000. Let's keep it moving. Let's see. Let's see. 1,200. Calamix tribe. 1,200 right here. 1,500 right here. 2,600 right here. 5,000 right here. 3,000 right here. Come on, y'all. Come on. Look at it. Look at the amount of people on these lands. And you mean to tell me they got here in like a couple of hundred years? Some people have been what 16. We got 1,600, 1,500, 1,500. Come on, come on. Look, look. Just look. 700, 400, 5,500 here. I mean, come on. Let's go. 1,400 right here. Keep moving. 3,000, 300 right. Come on. Can't get the creeks. This is the majority of the ones that they had, right? 3,000 right here. 13, 1,600 right here. I'm skipping. I'm just 45,000. Look at this. 45,000 right here. Y'all see this? Come on now. Y'all see how many of our they make 1,200 here, right? I'm browsing through, so y'all know I'm skipping some. 1,200 right here. 1,000 over here. 1,000 here. 2,000 here. 15,000 here. Come on, y'all. Come on. Look how many of our people it was all over. Some of them have the amount, but you know they've been there forever. Some of them were in the hundreds. You know, they were smaller tribes, 300, 400, 500, 600. Some of these ones I'm passing by quick. You know, just, that's like passing them. Each 15,000, so on and so forth. 1,300 right here. Hundreds, 1,000 here. Here. The Illinois, that's my people. That's where I'm from, Illinois. Illinois, 12,000 right there. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. I see this. 1,100. Thousand over here. 400 here. Come on, y'all. Look at this. 1,000 here. $35. 1,000 here. 800, 300, another 1,000 over here, 1,000 there. I mean, come on, y'all can't. 5,000 right here. Come on. 5,000. 1,500 right here. Come on, y'all. Look at it. Look at it. Look at our people. 600. 2,000. Colombia. 2,000. 800. 1,200 here. 800 there. Come on. Look, look, look. Just look. 100 here. Another there, 1,000 there. Just look at them. Look at them all over the place. I'm going to go down to this next page so we can breeze through this. Look, 2,000. Massasangis, the Algonquins, the Micmacs, 3,000 Micmacs. Come on, y'all. Look at the Micmacs. The Minotaurs, 2,500. 2,500 Minotaurs. Look, it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. 17,000 mosquitoes. 17,000 geese. That go for that count that takes the ruling over all of the 5 tribes together because they had what, six? No, more than triple that, 5 times that amount, just in some of the ones we read. Look at this. Look, 15,000 here, another 15,000 over there, another 800 there, 700 there, 1,000 there, right? Y'all see this 2,000 right here. Omaha Indians, 2,200. Chippewas, Ojibwas. Someone was just talking about this. I think it was the research guys. The Ojibwas, Chippewas, 30,000 of them. Come on, y'all. The Omaha's 2,200. Come on, those 1,500 of them. Those eyes, 2,000 of them. And I'm skipping. 2,000 of the Pudaka. And it says all warriors. Come on, they was fighting tribes. And we just in the peas. Just look at them. Y'all see this? Man, come on. Everywhere. And they try to say, oh, they got rid of y'all. Oh, to pink shop. Pishquapac, 2,600 of them. 36 tribes. Each one, certain nations had so many different tribes under them. The Powhatans had 32 tribes spread over Virginia. Discovered. They had 32 different tribes all over Virginia. Come with us, like we stupid or slow or something. These people keep trying to change our mind with their stories and lies and coming with conjecture and paperwork and different things to show us stuff to try to change your mind and say, oh, look, it said this over here. Listen, y'all stay lost in y'all mind. Y'all can't twist us around. We already been open to the light. The way, the truth, and the damn light's been opened. Shit. Here's 2,000 right here. Okay, I mean, it just goes on and on. Iroquois tribe, Roundhead Indians from the Hurons by Lake Superior. We talking about 2,500. Come on, look. They even had small tribes in North Carolina at the time. Not sure some of the tribes' names. Shiloh tribe, 1,200. Here go another with 30,000. The Shoshones, 30,000 Shoshones. Come on. 30,000 Shoshones. The Sakunis, 1,000. They had 1,000. Look at that. Shetamish, 2,000. And this was in 1820. Oh, I didn't say the year on the other ones, but you guys, you can estimate these all between the 16 and 1800. 2,500 right here for the Skillet tribe. The Skillets. 2,400 right here for the tribe, right? Thousands, hundreds, thousands. Look at them. 1,200. Tahakana tribe. They had 3 different tribes out of nation. I'm sorry, not tribe, the nation. Here go. Right? I lived in Peoria before as well. Let's see. You have to see for yourself. All these tribes. Tokahans, a nation or tribe of. They said they were cannibals. So who do you think they were? Welsh. Tribes. Cannibals. Come on. Oh boy. The Tishpahas. 5,600. All these tribes with all these large members. Like, whoa, it's quite a few, right? Look. Still more. Here we go. We're at the end now. Did y'all see this? 2,800 here. Another 30,000 there. 1,400 here. I mean, come on. Can't get no better than that, right? Can't get no better than that. It's trying to pause right now, guys. So we're going to say if it let me. Oh, there we go. We all right. What you guys think before I play this video? I'm gonna drop the link for about 5 minutes. If anyone wants to come up to comment on anything that we have read, anything that we talked about a minute ago, you definitely are free to before we play this video because I'm gonna have to drop you down before I play the video. Y'all see how this internet's acting retarded, but I definitely want to open the panel for anybody that has anything that they wanted to speak on when it comes to this stuff that we've been talking about. If not, we will definitely get right into the video. So let's play one quick for you guys. Allow someone to come up if they decide they want to come up, and we will go from there. Give me a second, guys. What shall I play for you, my sweets? Should I play some information for you quick? We'll get into a little information video. Let's check this out. Yeah, let me do that. Hold on a second, guys. Give me a moment while I'm waiting to give you guys a chance to come up if you choose to. Okay. Some told me it's doing a little bit of issues, but we seem to be doing okay, guys. If I ain't gonna press my doing too many different videos. Let me get into my play for you guys real quick, and then we're gonna go. What I'm gonna be playing for you guys is the Horseman. It's a documentary. And this documentary is gonna go over a lot of things that we've been chatting about. Right? My plan is under Section 107 Copyright Act of 1976, right? There is allowance that is made for fair use for the purposes such as news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. You can for yourself at www.copyright.gov/FLS/F if you're interested in that copyright. So this is for entertainment of the mind and uh, for teaching and scholarship information on things that have been done against Native people and continues to be done. And I just definitely like to bring things to the light and show information and so on and so forth. So fair use. So you guys will be trying to pay attention to the chat to see if the sound's going or it starts getting creepy or anything stupid like that. But let's hope we got a pretty good connection. We've been doing part of the day, so let me just give it a second and then we're gonna get to play it. It's like it's trying to slow down now, so give me a minute. Okay. That was crazy. Now y'all see this thing been playing just fine. That's all right though. We about to get right back into it. Here we go. Craziness of it all. Peace, Cherokee. I see you, sis. Peace. They say the third time's a charm. Let's see what it do. Mm. Let's try it. Too much, right? Like what's really going on? Just on y'all real quick, but that's okay. Let's give it a second. Maybe it'll catch up. I won't rush it. It's absurd how everything was going absolutely great, and as soon as we try to do that video, it's just like doing everything it can to knock it out. So we're gonna try and see if we can get it to catch up real quick. We're supposed to be doing informational pay per view. Me, um, AP. Did somebody just pop up? Me, AP, Sister Benny, and Chief Holiday. Peace drop. What's going on, brother?
Oh shit, cooling out, man. Told you I was gonna come rock with you. Hell yeah. What
Yeah.
give me a recap right quick on what you building on, cause I just clicked in. I clicked in
Well, I was
earlier,
actually,
but then
yeah,
you got
yeah. I
it.
was just showing some information on how the Moors in where the basically the five tribes. This is how they have all these contracts and everything under the Daz roll, so on and so forth, showing actually which tribes were related to which of the the Moors, like as far as the titles, the El, the Bay, so on and so forth. Then I went to a document that showed when they requested the statehood from the United States and uh, so-called gave everything information over for tracts of land and so on and so forth. So yeah, just kind of trying to show a little bit of information on that and actually reading some of the tribes. I went over the tribe nations they came up under, the amount of tribe members that were here and what year. I didn't say the years, I'm sorry. The amount that were here and so on and so forth. So yeah, pretty much. And my main
Mm.
thing is for this video that it keeps kicking me out every time I'm trying to show it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you
that's
know the
it. We're
gang
doing
got
tomorrow. So yeah, for that. Hmm.
all right, so cool. All right, now when I be looking into the Moors, right? Basically it's a teaching of basically freedom for black and white people, right? This is why Moor in a black law dictionary means free white man. All right, now cool. Reason why it's mean free white man because the black man let him go through mixing. Now the tribe that stood on freedom was the Maroon tribe. You see how you get the more in it. Now more more like if you pinpoint the origins of Moors, they come from all over the world, and that's called a mixum, right? So cool, it's called a mixum because everybody was fucking. So
No,
instead
no,
of
no. Those
South
not the
America,
original Moors. Drop, drop.
go
I'm
ahead, you
finna
got it.
video real quick. Yeah, I want to try to make it. It finally up. I've been trying to kick me out because about the internet, but I want to get this video played. You want to come back
Can
up
you
after
say
the
it
video?
again? You was
I'll open the
borging,
panel.
you was borging out on my end. Can you say it again?
Video.
Yeah, you still borged out. Ask the chat if you borging out in the chat, cause it might just be on my end.
I am. Hold on. Man. Hold on, bro. Hold on. I gotta get rid of you for a second. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go fine until ready to play the video. And yeah, that's why I was saying something. Drop back up after I try to play this video, bro. Let's see play back. It is.
We are entering the age of consequence, a rapacious financial system violence, the looming environmental force are all converging at a time when governments, religion, and mainstream economists have stalled. Horsemen are coming.
Yeah, guys, look like it is not gonna let me share the video. Drop, dang. Now he drop, come back up. I don't know what's going on. I don't think I'm gonna play this video because it will not let me play it, like for real. This is the video, guys. I want you guys to please grab it and go watch it because it's not gonna allow me to play it for you guys. Let me send the link out again. Drop. Hold on a second. I don't know what's going on. This thing acting so retarded right now. Okay. Or anybody else that might want to come up and speak on what I shared, or uh, can you guys hear me now? Dragons, peace, just coming in. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, the share was given the issue drop. Now it's not letting me edge it. Lord. Okay. This is so retarded. Okay, go ahead, brother. Now I can hear you.
All right. All right, cool. So what was
Yeah.
you saying about the where I had it confused at? Because I was saying about a mixum and freedom
Yeah, they had,
and the maroons and all that, and how
yeah,
Moor
go ahead.
meant
You can
free white
elaborate on
man.
that if you want to just put,
All right, now cool. When you look at a mixum, right? This is before when people be like, "What was America before America?" It was a mixum, right? Now a mixum was like four different continents, right? And all these people started traveling the seas and the oceans and exploring, right? So this is more really mean people coming from different lands, right? Different lands as they were set free from the lands. That's why they started exploring, right? So cool. So the Moors is the pirates of the sea, basically, and they come in all
um,
different colors and everything.
they were some of them drop, but drop. Well, hold on, I gotta stop you on that, brother. They were different tribes, brother. Like, okay, let me explain to you about the different ones. Hold on. They had different titles for each name. Like when you hear those names, like the L, the this one, the that, they all had different titles. So this is where it comes from, and these titles have certain things to do with what they were doing on the land, because they were different tribes. Like the Alis, they were Chickasaws. They had certain titles for courage and accomplishment, certain things. So, say somebody did something that they accomplished a big deal out of the tribe, right? That was a title that they got, which is an Ali, which made them etherical. Or L, they protected the North Gate. They had certain cosmology that they used. They were travelers, seafarers. They had certain knowledge that represented certain principles. The Bays were from the Choctaw. They were governors in playing certain roles in the governors for the South Gate. Then they had the Seminoles, the Greek of a lot of the Moors from South America near Mexico and Cuba area. The Owls were the Creeks and the Muskogee. So they had different, like it was different areas that they represented, brother. And these were those 5 tribes that I was, I don't know if you read the article that showed all of the 5 tribes that wanted the statehood. They asked or requested statehood with the United States. This is how they started giving them plots of lands and all of that stuff.
Hey, but if you notice with the tribes, they didn't add first the one that got the name in it, and that's the Maroons, right? And then you got the Aztecs, who they say they killed off. Now these two things would be sort of like the military of the tribes you just claimed, the protection, the muscle, the Black Panther of the movement, right? Um, so but the point I'm making is you see how you said these tribes resided in different regions and they came together. That's the mixing. That's the mixing of people, right? This is the flooding of the Americas. So you got Asia, North America, and South America. That's all a mix. That's what it was called. It wasn't called South America, North America, none of that, right? So cool. All them people came together, and this is why you can get a Moor looking like Pocahontas. You can also get a Moor looking like Dick Gregory because they end up coming
Oh,
together.
but the
I could be
Pocahontas.
wrong, but this is my understanding of it. You got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You could be you may made some points, brother. I'm not gonna go against what you're saying, but I was just really giving you the information on like the names and how they tie to the tribe. So there's definitely interpretation for that, you know. So that's your interpretation. I can't go against it.
All right, when you look up the word of mixing, right?
Hmm.
It got more in the definition. More really means land. So when that's why so many people can say they from the Moorish Empire because it's a whole. It has nothing to do with black or none of that. It's a bunch of people that set to sea. So the first explorers, the first pirates, everybody set sea from every region. They came together in the seas. Okay, we
Like
gonna
you said,
start naming this.
those white.
I don't know. Your mic went out. What you say?
Yeah, I'm sorry, brother. I got a little bit of delay. I was saying, yeah, those the Vikings that were from Welsh, they were the ones that came down that were on the river, like the Red Indians. When you hear about these Red Indians, they were the ones that were on the river. They were the White Indians. They were, mixing obviously, but they were in Melungeons and mulattoes, mixing with some of those Spanish nations, so on and so forth. And they were the ones that were they were calling the white Indians. They were the Welsh people with the reddish hair.
Hey, you want to know one thing I was wondering over the last 2 days? You know how like we can trace history and all that to the Nile River, right? Why no information is going back to that Amazon River? Because it's just as long as the Nile River, and it's covered with growth now. So the Amazon, everything covered. What people was there, and that'll answer a lot of questions, man.
Well,
Who from
our
the
people there, I think
Amazonians?
they still there. They still have indigenous races that are still in the Amazon right now.
Mm, that's deep because they
Yep, they still
still
do.
connected to nature. There's so much nature in the Amazon, like this
Exactly.
rainforest is there's different. They'll climb a tree barefooted and get a coconut. But yeah, I'm about to get off of here because I ain't got too much knowledge on like Moorish stuff and Aboriginal stuff. That's why I be listening to y'all. But I can make a fool out of myself if
Yeah,
you
brother.
want.
No, bro. We'll keep it good. We'll say that for another time. But
All right, cool. Here go the question. Here go the question,
but yeah,
even
I
though it
put
don't
a
got the.
video, man. Go ahead.
All right, here go the question though. Before I leave, and it don't have nothing to do with the tribes, because I know you got to get back to topic. Do you think any point in the world's time that there was only one race on any place of this earth. Not 90%, 100%. It was these people.
I believe that there could possibly have been other races. I'm not going to say that I believe it was. I believe it's a possibility. I won't cast that 100% out. There's so many different theories and stories and this and that. You never can tell. I can go with my heart and what I understand about history and lies and things of that nature, and believe that there were multiple different people all over of one particular so-called race, and something could have changed that over time, or it's possible that there were other races in different areas. It's possible that these stories we hear, because we know that they were created beings. I don't know if you ever seen my video on the incubated people. There's proof
Mm,
that they incubated them. There's proof that they were selling the babies out the incubators, $20 a pop. Like literally, there's proof. I did a whole video on that. So there's no
you need
denying
to
that.
do another one. That's fire. I'll do like 10 of them ones. That's fire.
I've done like two different ones on it, to be honest. I've done information on it on other bills, but I've literally done like two real in detail information. One of them, Wisdom, was on it with me, blew his mind. Kind of literally the details, because it's just out there and it's broken down. All approved. I got all the documents showing how they did the research, how they started with different cells. They started using these grasshoppers. Man, come on, these people is crazy. But yeah, so that's possible. So if they were doing it, not too long ago, you can imagine what our people with major technology was doing like hundreds of thousands of years ago. So I can believe that certain people were created because they are patented.
That's
They
so
have two
so one.
stranded, we have three stranded, and yeah, so on and so
So
forth.
if we talking about that type of knowledge, then a woman could came from a man's rib. That sound like some surgery to me. So if they that advanced, where they can take the DNA, and they still researching stem cells. This is why I keep trying to tell people that's what mummified bodies is, and that's why I tell people Akhenaten is Obama genetically, not the real Akhenaten. Is genetic stem cell research, and everybody empowered is basically breed it into that. Like you said, they were selling babies for $20. Once
Mhm.
they stopped doing that, they like, no, we just gonna keep bringing our forefathers back. So they know that that's still Akhenaten, or they know that's still cool, but they come in a different life form because they brought that DNA back. This just some shit I'm freestyling because I could be wrong. I'm just trying to open people's mind. But what would you say about Pangea, man?
Well, I believe what Pangea is where they're saying everything was connected, correct? Just to clarify.
Yeah, and it's separated, and that's what put us on the different lands we were on.
I just was reading in the book how it was showing how they were, the lands were connected. It was saying that it said that they were able to move between the different areas. They was trading, so on and so forth. In the book I was just reading a few minutes ago, so it definitely was connected. And things that went underwater, keeping the amount of trade from happening. A lot of lands being blown up to make the waters come in from certain places. All of those different things. So yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And then, like you said, you got sea level, right? And
Hmm.
you got lands that's underwater that didn't sink, right? But they'll give us Atlanta sinking, they'll give us Mu, which is the other side of Hawaii sinking. Imagine how much other stuff done sunk that they're not telling us. Plus, with the water rising over the land, making continents smaller, and then dissipating, making continents bigger. So when you start getting um maps and shit, the land mass that they're showing you might not be that size no more. If you go to the pyramid of Giza, it used to have water running through it. It's not water there no more. They actually found, if you go a couple 10,000 feet under the ground or whatever, they got actual running rivers. This is why they set the pyramids there. The running water acted as the conduit to the electricity. So people like, why they build them there? All right, cool. Cause now we dealing with underground river systems. And like you was telling me, I think a couple months ago, there's whole underground cities. There's whole underground, like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yep.
But I'm about to get off of here, man. Let you do your thing, man. But I gotta
Appreciate you.
majorly
Thanks
start
for popping through.
fucking with you, man, cause you be dropping stupid gems, man. Make a nigga
I
think. You hear
appreciate you,
me?
brother. I appreciate you, brother. You already know. Peace and love. And
All
shout out to
right.
the Cash App that I got. Sabrina Jones sent me $25 Cash App. So appreciated, sis. Thank you so much. Also from William Herring. William, thank you so much for the Cash App, brother. He sent me a $20 Cash App. So appreciated. Reginald sent $5 supporting the information, brother. I appreciate you as well for the Cash App. All three of you guys that sent in Cash App, it is so appreciated. You guys don't know how great that feels. Even if it's $1, it lets me know that you guys appreciate me. And I'm going to do it whether you send anything or not, but it just feels great, when you guys support me. I see people get supported on other channels. I've supported channels for the longest, other people's channels. And, it feels nice when somebody hits you with a little something. So the appreciation is shown. So you guys are so appreciated. I appreciate your energy, your true energy and currency that you deliver in my chat. We're giving me perfect energy, encouragement, good feedback on the things we talk about, so on and so forth. You guys know it's nothing but love and perfect energy to you all. Peace, bliss, and love to everybody right now. You guys have a great evening, okay? All right. Me and Empress was supposed to do it live. I think she got kind of caught up. I know she's been a little busy, but I will let you guys know when we got something coming up. I know she has something Saturday. I don't know if that's something else that she's doing, but if not, I'll be popping up there with her. If not, I'll let you guys know when we're going to do our next build. We got some things set up. All right, guys. Peace, love, bliss, and I'm out.